Hey guys, welcome to another video of Fusion Studios. So like I have said in the previous video, I am now doing a camera comparison between S21 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. In the last video I have unboxed and reviewed all the S23 Ultra series pre-order kit, and that includes the S23 Ultra, Samsung Watch 4 Classic LTE model, Galaxy Buds 2, 25-watt travel adapter, 15-watt wireless charger, and also the S23 Ultra Ferrari armored case. Now as you can see here, on the left I have the S23 Ultra and on the right I have the S21 Ultra. So the buttons are a little bit more thinner on the S21 Ultra, and when you look down, all the items are inverted on both the phones. On the S23 Ultra it have the SIM ejector tray, mic, USB-C type, again mic, and we have the AKG powered speakers and the S Pen. On the S21 Ultra we have the speakers, USB-C type, microphone and the SIM ejector tray. When you look at the left side there are no buttons, and when you look at the top, on the S21 Ultra we have 2 mic and on the S23 Ultra we have 1 mic. Now as you can see, the S22 Ultra have a 12 megapixel front camera with aperture 2.2, 26mm focal length, dual pixel autofocus, records at 4K at 60 fps, and it's a wide camera. And also it does not comes with a screen guard, whereas the S21 Ultra comes with a screen guard, and it have a front camera of 40 megapixel with aperture 2.2, wide camera that records up to 4K at 60 fps. Now moving on to the back camera, the S21 Ultra and the S22 Ultra have a 12 megapixel aperture 2.2, 120 degree ultra wide camera at the top, and at the center S23 Ultra have a 200 megapixel aperture 1.7, 24mm wide camera, and the S21 Ultra have a 108 megapixel 1.8 aperture 24mm wide camera. And at the bottom for the S21 Ultra we have 10 megapixel aperture 4.9 240mm focal length, 10x optical zoom periscopic telephoto camera, whereas the S23 Ultra have 10 megapixel aperture 4.9 230mm focal length, 10x optical zoom periscopic telephoto camera. And finally, the S23 Ultra have a 10 megapixel aperture 2.4 70mm focal length, 3x optical zoom telephoto camera, and the S21 Ultra have 10 megapixel aperture 2.4 72mm focal length, 3x optical zoom telephoto camera. S23 Ultra records up to 8K at 30 fps, and the S21 Ultra records up to 8K at 24 fps. Now without any further delay, let's do the photo comparison between the S21 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. So as you can see, these are the samples I have taken from the garden. From here on the left we have the Samsung S21 Ultra, and on the right we have the Samsung S23 Ultra. These are all taken from the rear camera with 1x zoom. So now you can see the detailing and the color difference between the S21 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. We can also spot some difference in the exposure levels. So these are the front camera samples of the S21 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. The S21 Ultra have a 40 megapixel and the S23 Ultra have a 12 megapixel camera. The S23 Ultra gives a more natural tone and detail. Next we have the 108 megapixel of S21 Ultra and 50 megapixel of S23 Ultra. So as you can see, when we crop them, the S23 Ultra have a more defined image. Now here we have the 108 megapixel of S21 Ultra and 200 megapixel of S23 Ultra. And when we crop them, these are the results. When we are taking a top view photo of the nature from the S23 Ultra 200 megapixel camera, and when we crop that image, we can find that it will give a more detailed image compared to these results. Next we have the portrait mode, and as you can see, the S23 Ultra have a more defined background blur. Now this is a photo of myself from the portrait mode on the S21 Ultra and the S23 Ultra at 1x zoom level. And as you can see, these are the results from 3x zoom levels. The S23 Ultra gives a better subject detection and exposure levels. And this is the portrait selfie from both the phones. So as you can see, the S23 Ultra gives a more natural look. Next we are going to compare the zoom levels of both the phones. So first we have the wide angle camera, that is 0.6x zoom. And after that, here we have the 1x zoom level. So actually we are zooming at a board at the top of the building. So as you can see, this is the 3x zoom level. And that white building beside the coconut tree is where we are going to zoom. and here we have the 10x zoom. This is the 30x zoom, and as you can see there is a lot of quality difference, and this is the 100x zoom. Compared to the S21 Ultra, the S23 Ultra have a more detailed and colored image. Now just like before, we have the 0.6x wide angle zoom, and here we have the 1x zoom, and after that here we can see the 3x zoom level. So actually we are zooming to a construction building. You can at least spot that construction building from this 10x zoom level. So after the 30x, you can spot a color difference between both the photos, and at 100x, the S23 Ultra is a little bit more detailed and colored. Now let's take one more zoom sample. So here we have the wide angle zoom, that is 0.6x. Next we have the 1x zoom level, and after that here we have the 3x zoom level. So actually we are zooming to a board at that white building. So here we have the 10x zoom level. So as you can see, we are going to zoom to that whiteboard. So this is the 30x zoom, and you can see the quality difference. And after that at the 100x zoom, there is a large difference in quality. Now similarly, let's see the quality difference when we are zooming at a person. So this is 0.6x zoom, and after that we have 1x zoom. And at 3x zoom, you can find me standing in front of the fountain. And after that at 10x zoom, you can see the difference in color and the detail. So we don't need to do color correction in the S23 Ultra compared to the S21 Ultra. At 30x and 100x zoom, we can see the large gap between the quality of both the phones. Now we can finally conclude that the 100x zoom in the S23 Ultra is way much better and usable than the S21 Ultra. Now let's compare the video samples from the S21 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. So first, here we have the video recording of Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra at resolution 4K at 60 fps. Next we have the video sample of Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra at resolution 4K at 60 fps. Now here we have the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra at resolution 4K at 60 fps, and the zoom levels from 1x to 10x. And next we have the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra at resolution 4K at 60 fps within zoom levels 1x to 10x. Next we have the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra at resolution 4K at 60 fps from the zoom levels 10x to 20x. Here we can find a word on the AC exhaust, and it's a little bit blurry and not detailed. Now here we have the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra at the resolution 4K at 60 fps, and the zoom levels are between 10x to 20x. And as you can see, the word written on the AC vent is more clear and detailed. Next we have the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra at resolution 180p at 60 fps. We are recording at 180p because only in this resolution can we zoom from 0.6x to 20x continuously. Now let's move to another location and zoom from 0.6x to 20x similarly. So as you can see, when the zoom reaches up to 10x, we can see a quality difference, and that is because from 0.6x to 10x, it's zooming digitally, and after that it switches to the 10x optical camera, and then it zooms up to 20x. Now just like that, here we have the video sample from the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra at resolution 180p at 60 fps, and here we are continuously zooming from 0.6x to 20x. Now compared to the S21 Ultra, the S23 Ultra have a little bit more saturation even after zooming. Just like before, I am going to zoom in another location from my S23 Ultra, and as you can see, compared to the S21 Ultra, we cannot actually spot from where the camera switches in the S23 Ultra. That is because the saturation and exposure levels are mostly even throughout the video. This is the video recorded from the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra at the resolution 4K at 60 fps from the front camera. And I am actually rotating from the same spot, so you can spot the exposure changes when I am rotating. I can also find that the saturation levels are a little bit higher compared to how it actually looks. Now here we have the camera sample from the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra at resolution 4K at 60 fps from the front camera. Here the saturation level and the exposure level looks a little bit more natural and original compared to the S21 Ultra. This is the portrait video shot from the front camera of the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra at the resolution 4K at 60 fps. We can find the saturation levels are a lot higher, have a little bit less stability while taking the video, and also the edges of the subject is not detected properly. Now here we have the portrait video taken from the front camera of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra at the resolution 4K at 60 fps. Now you can find that the video is more stable, and also the color and exposure levels are more natural, and also it detects the edges of the subject perfectly. And this mode is made to compete with the cinematic mode of Apple. This is the super steady mode taken from Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra at a maximum resolution of 180p. I am actually running very fast in the video, and you can find that there is a little bit shake in the video, and also the resolution is not proper 180p, and also the video is not very usable. Compared to that, here we have the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra Super Steady mode at a maximum resolution of 4K. And here I am running at the same speed like in the S21 Ultra. But you can find that the video is very smooth and there is no little bit of shake in the video. And also the quality is very high. This mode is made to compete with the action mode in the Apple. Next we have the comparison between the super slow-mo video at 960 fps on both S21 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. The super slow-mo sample from the S23 Ultra looks a little bit more natural and detailed. So this is all about the camera comparison between the S21 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. So thank you for watching the video guys. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you have any doubts, comment in the comment section below. And don't forget to share this video with your friends. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell button to get the latest updates.